Hello everybody. We're back with our long ado YouTube battle report from the Manitoba Mean Machines. This is Mindozer again, coming to you with a new game with Trolls versus Legions. And I'll introduce our Legion player, Geoff.
Hello everyone, my name's Geoff, and yeah, I'm today's Legion player. I'm going to be testing out some CID models and rules that have come through just recently. So, as you can see here, I'm starting with the deployment. There's a handshake, and I wanted to go deployment first, so I'm just going to get parts of the list down. I decided to start with a Kryssa list because it's a Battlebox caster that I never played with before, and I felt no particular reason. And now that she got all these nice changes in the CID, I figured she would be an excellent place to start. So rocking a Blightbringer for her battle group. That's the only war beast in her battle group. And also, we're going to be trying out with Annyssa Ryvaal with a cheaper point cost. 2 Virtue Champions for free because this is a Children of the Dragon list, so they are available as a requisition options. Going to be trying out the Blackfrost Shard for their new style of buffing and debuffing. And then we also included the Blight Archon that's going to have a Zuriel attached to it to hopefully be able to take advantage of some of the sprinting options that are going to be available. With that as well, to round out the rest of the list, just a spell martyr to be able to pass some spells around, and a maximum unit of Legionnaires and a max unit of Swordsmen with the updated champion with their prayers to be able to give them some utility along with anything else. How about you, Mark? What's going on with your list here?
I am bringing on some troll guns, but looks like I have some time where we'll go. Well, I'm going to back up a bit and introduce the scenario as well. We have Anarchy up, and I think I went with the objective stockpile for the healing, and I think Geoff went with the reroll treasure chest, I believe.
Yep.
Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah, okay. Hey, this is good. Looks like I will be playing Grim2 in or Hunter's Grim in Kriel Company. His battle group consists of 2 bombers to take advantage of that sweet feat, and then and with the list as well, I brought in a whole bunch of pigs because Brug is really seemed like a good idea to bring a lot of pigs in this list, given the fact that we've got some decent guns to bring to show. As well with the list, we also have Boomhowler 2 to allow for some clutch repos and hopefully his gun could do something, but I haven't had any luck with his gun lately, so. I also have a Thumper crew. I haven't pulled these guys out in a while, so let's see how they do with their slam guns. Apart from that as well, we also have the updated Burrowers, which will be deploying further up the board than the about 20 inches up the board, and actually it's a good spot for in my mind to contesting that flag. I think right now I mistakenly thought I was putting the pig birds on, but actually I'm deploying the bushwhackers, which actually have with their defense deployment right there, and then the fact that they have such long reach with their guns, I think will hopefully play a role in keeping Geoff on his toes.
And I feel I'm going to need it because I have not played in a long time, and some models that don't work in the way that I originally thought they did anymore. So it's going to be it was going to be interesting either way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like,
and I think we were discussing later on that the placement of the burr marker. I thought it would be a good idea, sort of near the house and between the flag, because I was mostly afraid that you were going to park your Blightbringer on it and prevent me from bringing out my burrowers. And I think it's your turn.
Yeah, looks like I'm starting it off here. So my plan with what I wanted to start with was, since it's such a wide scenario, I wanted to just get a unit in each direction going here. I wanted the Legionnaires going out the middle on the left, and then Swordsmen going the middle up on the right side, or as I'm looking at the table there, so the bottom of the screen. And with the Swordsman, I have the two Virtue Champions and also Anissa there, just as the pack of just get over there, and if anything comes in that direction, hopefully be able to deal with it. With the changes to Swordsman, with the Blade Shield just being built in, I thought it was actually a really strong option to be able to just to send somewhere. But in hindsight, I realized I probably should have put them on the opposite side of the table at the top of the screen there to be able to take advantage of their Prayer for a Relentless Charge and the water. Since my goal with Kryssa is to put Ashen Veil on them, they're going to have concealment anyway, so sticking them into the forest doesn't really gain anything. Per se. But as you see here, the Blightbringer is starting to move up a little bit. The Blight Archon with Zuriel as well is working its way along the top. So I'm just trying to feel out what I can do, how far I can go with the Zuriel in particular. I was hoping that be able to get him engaged with the pigs there across the, but ended up not really happening as well as I thought I could. And the Legionnaires now with their changes, with just how much more armor they can stack up. And the Blightbringer did do Dragon's Blood. No, Dragon's Blood's a spell.
Yeah, that was pretty clutch armor.
yeah, they get receiving that and also the armor buff from the Blightbringer. So they're already getting a swing of 4 armor baseline up to 19 before they even get hurt. So it's going to be, they're going to be I shouldn't be calling you by that name.
Challenging. Challenging.
Yeah. To be able to have to force them to hopefully get more CRAs to actually start taking out anything there. And I guess we're just pointing out what's what for proxies. And I think that we're just talking about that is actually not a war beast right there with the Blight Archon proxy.
Yes.
Using Azrael as that. And talking about looks like some potential interactions of things. What else do we got going on here? Yeah, I think it's just kind of going over what's changed, what's what.
Yeah, I think I made a suggestion, bring out a post-it so we'd know what I on my end, be like, what am I looking at here?
Yeah. And wow, it shows I have not shaved my head in a while there. This. As Kryssa just moving up, just being chill. So yeah. What were you thinking, Mark, on the other side when all this was going? What do you think you're?
I think at this point I was just like, what can I shoot down right away? Because I wanted to see how much I could get off with before everything starts dying. And I think I was overstretching. I was mulling about thinking about feeding on first turn. But oh wait, you guys are moving.
Oh, dudes! Oh, that's the Blackfrost Shard moving up with their new ability now to, before they run or charge, can actually cast a spell, so they can actually stealth and run. Mm-hmm. So it's really nice to do that. Be able to just cover table space and protect themselves at the same time. And all the swordsmen just boogieing up the table with Ashen Veil. So that's just making them defense 18 against guns right off the bat before anything else gets factored in is absolutely fantastic. And the Virtue Champions, with their ability to just place a 3-inch cloud on top of them that follows them, they can do it anytime during their activation, so immediately before a run, is actually really handy. So it just makes it so that they're 15, 18s against guns. Anissa with stealth is there, so there's a lot of... I think that side of the table is going to be your trickier side to deal with.
Yeah, it was, and I think at that point I just gave up on it and I stuck to one side.
Yep, no, we'll see how that pans out here. And there you go. You actually get to move some stuff now.
All right, and I think this is where I'd really go into the tank just for me. I'm like, do I really want to go overextend on first turn? I'd be like, no, I should just. I think I ended up in the end. I just did conservatively, just get out of your threat ranges and just hope for the best and try to do more damage next turn, and hopefully you don't take too much off.
Yeah,
is what I was wishing for. And I think in deployment, I didn't mention that I did bring the 3 tank trio, Ledfoot and his buddies, the blue tank and the red tank, over to my left flank. But you're gonna see shortly here they're just gonna beeline over to the center and they just totally just get out of dodge because there's so much pain coming on that side of the board from Geoff's side. Mm-hmm. And I think, yeah, we were discussing how far your things go because I'm so used to playing trolls. Like just go, head first into things because we usually want to, suck up the damage. But this is slightly different. This is sort of like left brain type role play where I have to be very mindful where things go and shoot first before starting to swing. Or not even. I don't think I swing much in this game. It's mostly all range attack that I lean on.
Yeah, this was a part of the conversation as well of how the Legionnaires are now faster. They have Vengeance, so just the fact that it's 3 inches and then 6, 9, 11, so 14 inches total non-linear threat they have if you hurt any of them is nothing to sneeze at right now, especially based off looks like some of the front ones. They're pretty much in line with the bottom of the zone right now, so odds are just on a charge after Vengeance, they'll be able to start getting to the other side of the zone, and then even on a run, just be able to just run and engage whatever they can get their hands on, and just be a pain to remove.
Yeah, and being a troll player, always start with the Runebearer. He goes forward, giving him Martyr's Exaltation to Grim. And I think I just start with just trying to see if Brug can actually give these guys. And then this is a point in time where you should read your cards before, because I thought that the target acquired, they could just shoot right away, but apparently they have to forfeit to aim. And I'm like, at that point, there's only, I think, 3, or 4 Legionnaires at the front there that was within range of anybody. And then I moved the rest to be in CR Ray range, so at least take advantage of that combined range attack. I think I managed to take out 1 or 2.
Yeah, you're really planning from when we were talking about this. So looking at those front 3.
Yeah.
There, and I think in the end you managed to only take out 2 of them with the unit total.
I think so. I think I had about 3 shots, and I think which right off the bat, I think it's like it was the only target acquired. It was the only target that I could possibly hit reasonably well. Like going into a Zuriel, like even a Blightbringer, there was no point wasting my shots on those and exposing the pigs too much.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. It turns into which is the lesser evil. Do you take shots into something to soften it up for later, or you go the route of actually taking out models, but those models happen to have Vengeance, so they're just going to be coming screaming up the table.
It does. Yeah, and I think, we were discussing how many, and I think it was like 2 or 3. I think, you're right. Probably I was only able to get about 2, which I still went for, since I already committed Brug to giving them the battle plan, so I might as well, utilize it, not just let it sit there. But I think on top of that, before there, I went ahead and gave the repositioning fell call from Boomhowler, at least to get the guys out of the way, or at least out of threat after making a shot, especially for the ones that are going to move ahead and give combined range attack, I think.
One thing
there's a lot of.
Oh, you go.
Yeah, go for it. I think this is Boomhowler giving his fell call to the bushwhackers, because battle plan and fell caller can stack.
Yeah, that's actually an amazing combo. I didn't really know about it, didn't even think about it, because I didn't get a chance to really dig deep into a lot of this. One thing to point out for anyone that's watching as well, there is no clock for this one. This was just meant to be a fun game. We haven't seen each other in ages, and we just wanted to throw down and play a game.
Yes.
In the end, so it'll be a lot of more chit chat, a lot of other things going on, just sorting things out.
Yeah, just nice to see each other again. And I think this is me activating the bushwhackers. They're walking to get within combined range, to get within range to contribute to the combined range attack. That I think there are 3 that I'm going to be not moving, and they're going to be forfeiting their movement to aim, so that to take advantage of the target acquired battle plan. This is a lot more like small models that I'm so not used to. I'm so used to just like medium based models. It's hard to move smaller models.
Yeah, and you're actually not trying to just say nope, run, charge kind of deal. You gotta pick your targets now and make sure you're taking out the things that matter.
Yeah, so I think 3 models chose to forfeit their movement to aim, and I think now we're deciding that I was going to target the back model. I think is what they're talking. Not the front Legionnaire. I think it was the one behind it, so that just in case I took him out, he would be out of. He would not get the armor bonus.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the first one. Was like a 3-man or 4-man CRA. I'm not sure which one. I forget, but I know I only got 3 good shots into it, and
Yeah, this is what I was talking about.
I think it was just top 3.
Yeah, like, okay, which ones with a forfeiting? Make sure how many of which can combine to do the math. Yeah.
Yeah. I think as long as it didn't roll snakes, right?
Pretty much, yeah. The defense 12, so it's not a hard target to hit with 3 and 4 men.
But still
CRs.
high armor, though, because we were, like, off.
Yeah, that's what, 15 base, 17 for base to base with a buddy, 19 because of the Blightbringer, 21 now because you hurt somebody. And as we also realized, I pulled the wrong model out, so we do some swapping here in a second. Yeah, this me. Oh, and then there's also the Dragon's Blood on them as well to make them 21, going up to 23.
It was painful to shoot through, so the combined range was much needed just to get that edge.
Yeah, so whoops, wrong one. There we go. Now we fixed the problem.
So now this guy at least is only armor 20. 21?
21, yeah. You lose one of the +2s that I have access to.
and then they're gonna repo back because that's all the shots I could give out. Yeah, it's only 2, which decent. Repoing forward just to block some charge ranges, especially from that Zuriel coming in. And then after just realizing the fact that he lost assault, or he does have assault.
He lost assault in lieu of getting kill shot.
Yeah, it's still the same though. I think it's still painful if you ended up. I think they're equally painful still. And then the rest of the Pyg bushwhackers is gonna go repo back just to be conservative and see if I could save at least half of them.
Yeah, I'm definitely more the fan of the kill shot because at least with assault, you're saying by charging that I have to shoot at that. Now it's I can charge something, shoot somewhere else, and now with the dual attack that Zuriel has, it allows me I could stab something, shoot that way, and then I'm gonna make my shot over that way, a different way completely. Yeah. So you get a ton of versatility, especially against models like these, which are not necessarily the easiest, but not the hardest to hit as well. But they're low enough that Power 12 spray has a very strong chance of taking them out.
Well, yeah, I'm only like armor 13, next to nothing, I think.
Yeah.
12, armor 12. It's straight damage.
Oh no, but that Kriel stone.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, but I was only able to get half of them, I think. The Thumper Crew is just moving up just to get within range. They'll be a bit more useful later on. But I think they were one of those units where Boomhowler maybe giving them repo up. At least then they get further up the board. And still be able to shoot and be relevant later. Like I still have to unlock how to use a Thumper Crew. The bomber just gonna move up just to stay out of charge range of the Legionnaires, and then just to be relevant for shooting later once I'm ready to pop Grim's feet, and then we'll see what we can take out. The unit that I'm moving next is the Sluggers. They were supposed to be my big volume unit, because they've got D3 shots between 3 guys at range 10 base. Meant to soften things up. POW 13 still relatively relevant, but I don't think I got to use them in this one. They got taken out pretty early, which you see in
spoilers.
I know. It was a surprise to me too, Geoff.
Oh yeah, no, that was actually, this is now actually pointing out the question of, were they in the
no, they weren't.
bunker?
They weren't.
Okay.
No, they weren't. They're outside of it.
Right.
I think the Kriel still moved up, and then I think I was explaining to Geoff, like, oh, what do you have? Corrosion. I'd be like, sounds good. Forever combat warding.
Yeah, no.
That's what I said.
The combat warding made a big impact on what I was able to do with Zuriel and his fire, the spray from the Blight Archon, the shots from the Virtue Champions. Just removing that aspect of just spreading corrosion all over the place and hopefully letting it do stuff, it was very unfortunate. And also it shut down the peel back the layers rule on the Virtues champions, so they weren't getting boosted attack and damage rolls against corroded things, because I can't corrode.
Yeah. No. Yeah, and I think Grim activated. I think I put up. I think this is where I screwed up. I think I paid 1 more than I should have for Mirage, but I took it. Rustiness, whatever. Bad troll player, but I did put up Mirage on him for later to allow him to get up the board more. And right now I was testing out the rest of his kit, because I usually when I run Grim2, I just use Grim2 and I forget that he has buddies, Mugs and Krump. So I'm gonna use Krump's what do you call that? It's the Trapper, the 5-inch Trapper AoE, where as a defensive option, I guess. And then I think I was discussing, I'm like, well, wait, I guess I didn't read it close enough, and I thought that how would I get away and not knock down myself, I guess. And Geoff, I think, pointed out the fact that I do have a reposition to get out of it. So that's what we're discussing now, because I'm like, I've never actually used this, because I thought they were just his guys that just followed him around, and I never really used them in other games I've had with him. So
yeah,
this is good. I'm hoping that, with the Kriel company coming up, I get to use them more, and I learned to use Grim2, and I think I'm going to dedicate myself to running the next couple games with using Grim2 just to learn the caster and the list.
Yeah, I think it would be a good one to learn with, because as you mentioned earlier, you're very used to, I'm melee, I'm medium bases, I'm running up the table as fast as I can to get at you. Now you have to play a different style.
It's a way different style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I remember when you were talking about the trap, it's like, I'm going to hit by my trap. Like, that's not how I remember, because I did play Grim2 a few times during Mark II. And that doesn't sound right in my head. And then once seeing, like, oh yeah, there's a Repo 3 over there. Okay, there's your way out. You got it.
There's my out. Yeah, so it'll be good. Yeah, I'm a melee beater, like Madrak 2 Kogrima player. That's my jam. But this is outside of my comfort zone, which is good. But it's also a good practice to use the rest of your army. Rest of your models that you have just sitting there. Yeah. Now we're just activating the tanks. I think that was just Ledfoot. Ledfoot just ran up to the cloud just to hide in the cloud there. He's moving up, and then another bomber and measuring the aura range, which I think is only at 8. To stay, I think I didn't have the space, so he's outside of the cloud there. But he riled enough to just get my fury, because his Grim dumped all of his stack into the Kriel stone. And then the red tank's gonna move up, just run up, and you can see here, this is where I shimmy over and sort of like tuck myself behind the house, because there's a lot of stuff coming on the left side. And also, I nearly forgot that I also had a non-troll model in this army, and that's a Gobber Chef that's hiding behind everything else there. Yeah, and I think this is just me showing. I think I was telling Geoff that everything's under the stone except for like the blue tank and like some big models off to the right. And then off to you, Geoff.
Yeah. I did my classic, okay, what do I gotta do in maintenance phase? What do I gotta do in control phase? Oh yeah, don't go to control yet. I got vengeance to do, so all the little dudes are conga lining up again to hopefully see what they can reach there on the top of the screen. And then just last bit of fury management. Yeah, this is actually an interesting list, since Kryssa is now a Fury 7 Warlock, and the Blightbringer only generates 5, which really means I only want to generate 4 at any point in time, because I want to be able to transfer to the Blightbringer so I can maybe start playing aggressive with her. I've pretty much resigned myself to her being a buff bot this game. Just put out her spells, upkeep them, and drop down to whatever I need to, so the Blightbringer can just boost as many attack and damage rolls as possible. Going forward to the point of only going up to 4 of the 5. Yeah, this is actually where you left for a bit, and I actually went and started measuring off this one dude's like, hey, I bet what can I hit with the Blightbringer with this? Like, yeah, okay, 5 dudes, okay, I can take this shot. I'll be I'm okay with this here. And I can do the consummate for myself and make you be -2 defense and lose tough. Yeah, just remove as many bad die rolls that I don't want to deal with as I can.
And I think my dice rolls didn't go too bad in this game. I was running average, and I think we didn't hit any like big snake eyes.
Yeah, we both had them this game.
Did we? I think we might. There was like 1 or 2 clutch gems.
Yeah, I think this actually could be one of them.
Is it? Oh right, yeah.
This could be one of them. We'll see. Yeah. I guess so. Now we're just talking about something.
Yeah, I know we have a lot of pauses in this one because we're trying to go over some things, but maybe what else do we...
I guess instead of trying to guess what we were talking about a week ago now.
I know. We played.
I guess my plan right now is I'm thinking that there's nothing I could really that's worthwhile to charge with the Legionnaires, so my goal is to just probably run them up and just engage as much as I can, shut down the guns, force Mark to work around me rather than me work around him with his guns. But this is
And
also a turn where I actually make a bit of a boo-boo. And I move the Blight Archon, the Blightbringer up, and then move the Blight Archon where the Blightbringer is, which is actually rubble, so I can get some cover. But I actually move out of Zuriel's. Zuriel gets put out of my control range, so I can't actually really do anything special with him this round.
yeah, I remember that bit. So what are we discussing here? Yeah. Well, there's a house. I guess we should start talking about the board more too. We actually have. I just realized we have 3 solid buildings in this game, going sort of diagonal, and that sort of like fairly even on both ends in terms of the deployment. But I think there's also where your Blightbringers right now. There's a rubble there. There's a stream. There's a shallow water on top, I think, and then the rest is a. Is that another rubble? Or is that the corrosive?
That was a corrosive on my
corrosive
side.
pool, or yeah, shallow corrosive pool or something.
All right, looks like Anissa is wanting to get some business done here. Since I had nothing
Yeah.
else better to shoot at, so I decided, okay, let's play shots into the bomber. And apparently,
Yeah.
my dice decided to roll hot fire, and I did what combined
Yeah,
I think
you-
8 damage total to it over the 2 shots when
Yes,
it's under
you did.
the aura.
Yeah, still under the aura. You still plinked it for some good decent damage.
Oh, probably one point that matters. For Anissa, I did put the prey on Grim2's unit right there.
Yep.
With the idea of you got to come up to maybe use that gun or cast your spells at some point, and hopefully at that's when I can start putting those POW 12 poison shots into the members of the unit and start causing some problems. But doesn't really come up right now. And just backing off to hide, even though I didn't necessarily need to, since she does have stealth. I probably should have moved, be a bit more aggressive to force the issue more rather than just run away.
Yeah. My tanks are good, but they're not that good.
Because they're speed 6?
Yes.
They're speed 6, okay. And they're only a half-inch melee, so as long as I stay out of 9.5, I would be okay for any of their charges, or just staying out of 11 for their guns. But even them trying to shoot at defense 15 is not the easiest prospect.
No, I think they go up to a maximum of rat 6. They're rat 6 or rat 7 if Ledfoot's in them. So if they aim rat 9,
yeah, but then
but that means you have to be in there, but which likely won't happen. So
no, even with her sword, nope, that's not happening right now.
yeah.
So I moved one of the Virtue Champions just to the one side of the building, just to kind of hope to start working my way in there, thinking that if you moved up the tanks into the bottom zone there, I'd be able to just quickly just turn around, just charge you, and deal with you. I'm just telling you where you probably should not go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But I think with that in mind though, but you did face some awkwardly, like not seeing anybody though.
Yeah, that is
right?
correct.
You're telling that the way it's sitting right now, I think he has his front arc almost like at the house. You can't really see behind him.
Yeah, the front arc is actually just clipping the left point that you see of that house down there. So even if somebody does come out, I can't do anything there for at least charges. But it's still speed 7, so I'd be able to walk with 2-inch melee. So it's still a 9-inch threat of just walking and just beating things. And because it actually is one thing that I really like about the Virtue Champions is they don't need the charge to reach their maximum damage output. Yeah. They can just walk. As long as the first attack hits, they have the same damage output.
Yeah. And I think you just moved up your mini unit. I don't know what they're called. The shard?
That's I did the swordsman first. They all moved up and just spread out into the zone, get into the woods to get cover and just be able to draw a line of sight through the trees so I can relentless charge out after. And then, yes, the Blackfrost Shard did, they received the run over again to stealth. And they ran, so they're all in the zone, so I actually have one unit in there. So now I'm telling Mark, you got to either start contesting the zone or you're giving me 2 free points minimum.
Yeah.
This is actually a problem that I've had within this edition of War Machine is I've never respected the scenarios too much, especially with Steamroller 2018. So one of my goals was actually to make sure that my first goal is to worry about this scenario and not lose on this scenario. So that's the reason why I decided to go with that play. And the Blackfrost Shard still have a Pathfinder, So if there's anything that you do commit to that zone, they can still walk through the forest. Maybe even walk and hit with their swords, or still cast spells, whatever it may be. They can still threat project from the position that they're in on my following turn.
Mm-hmm. I think you're done on the right side now. I think you're deciding what to do next on.
Yeah, I realized. Yeah, I definitely started on the right or the bottom side there, and just got that out because I knew that I wasn't going to be committing any real attacks. It's just jockeying for position on that side and making it look as unappealing as possible. There's
it wasn't. Oh, there you go. Here it comes.
Remember? Oh yeah, sticks. I can actually use these for somewhat accurate measurements. Who would have thought?
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't quite make the zone there.
No, I think you were touching the zone.
I think I was actually just out.
Yeah? Okay.
But it doesn't matter. Now we go back to the measurement that I was doing earlier. Is like, I'm shooting that guy because I can hit all these dudes here, and it's going to be amazing. That's what you're just...
Yeah, and I think this is just me confirming just to be sure. And I think you got all of them? Like 5 in the bomber, I think, right?
Yeah, it was 4 in the bomber. The bomber was the 5th model to hit. And that's where the 2-2-1 came in. There's the miss.
Yeah, there's the miss.
But as was
alluded, it was a good drift. It's a good drift, though.
Yeah, as it was alluded to earlier, those poor little sluggers, they got caught in the blast here, and all my dice said, okay, yeah, armor 17. Okay, yeah, I could deal with that, and apparently I could, and all 3 sluggers died.
Yeah, well, then I forgot that I was so used to having medium-based models with health boxes, and I didn't realize the sluggers didn't have any boxes too, which I'm almost leading to the fact that maybe I should have probably spread them out, or kept them in the keep them safer.
Yeah, that would,
they were almost like base to base. That's my troll medium base nest coming through again. I see medium bases, I want to keep them base to base.
Yeah, and so as well, so I thought they had 5 wounds as well each, but no,
a single wound.
Yeah.
I think this is where you start taking things out.
Yep, no, just pointing and rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye.
Out. Dead.
Next.
More dead.
Next. Boost. Boost. Give me all that. Use that delicious fury.
Mm-hmm. So you only boosted up to 4, I guess, or you force only up to 4?
Yeah, the max I forced up to was 4 at any point in time when I used the Blightbringer's gun, which, well, is this time.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is me marking damage, and I'm like being an idiot. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no way.
I think we caught it pretty early when I'm like, I put the last one on. I'm like, wait a minute, no, they're all dead.
Yep, no, there they go. Out we go. And clean up the tokens that we hit. I just put down stuff for whatever I hit just to keep it simple. And
then we leave the what's that called? The
that's
the AoE, and I lose. Which one did you pick? I forgot what it was.
Because I'm bad.
No tough one, right?
Yeah, no tough gives concealment and -2 defense for enemy models.
Yeah.
I'm totally not just bringing up War Room right now because I'm bad and trying to remember names of abilities I should remember. Withering Ash, there we go.
Yeah.
And it was Dragon's Breath I did on the previous round to get the +2 strength and armor for warrior models.
That was probably the most painful drift.
Yeah. And
it was a very painful drift. Because I thought you would take out more of the pigs, but no, you went right in the middle, right in the back line. You took out the back line.
And here's the final. Okay, Zero's going to charge there. I'm going to be able to hopefully kill that guy. I'm going to be able to kill shot and take my actual shot somewhere. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, it was. It's so amazing. It was such an amazing plan.
And then, wait, where's the fatal flaw? Where's the fatal flaw in the plan? I know it's coming. Blightbringer?
I think you were still trying to
cast and there's the play that cost me that because that just moved me outside of 10 inches.
Yeah, I think that was me pointing out. I'm like, hey, is that still within 10?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think it was just slightly less than an inch out, but it was a close one.
Yeah.
So now Zuriel sad and has to fly somewhere and maybe just burp on that one pig there right in the pond.
Mm-hmm.
At least, in the end, when I think about it, maybe the Withering Ash maybe wasn't the best option for the shot. I probably should have just stuck with Dragon's Breath just to keep buffing things. But I realize now I'm giving, even though the Archon's in the building, so I'm already getting cover. Zuriel coming in being defense 15 from the concealment there as well. And if whatever else would be in range as well for models. But I still think actually the better play. Now
Yeah,
in the end.
I think it was, but if you at least move the Blight Archon not too far out of control, at least he didn't need to be in that house. Basically, he didn't need to be in the rubble. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, this was a lot of remembering. Like, wait, I should be planning where do I want this model by turn 2, turn 3, and how can I protect them in those positions? And then I should be doing that. I was just making it up as I go, honestly.
Yeah. And I think you shot one pig off.
Yep, one in the pond got shown the what for there.
And I think all you have left to do is your Warcaster and the attachment.
Yeah, that's looking. So both virtues. The one boogie to the building in the bottom of the screen there, and one also ran to the middle of the table. The idea for that one was to just something that I could just fly over the building and just start hitting things as best as I can if you decide to start moving up. And it has a 2-inch blade as well, so if you decide to pop the burrows out as well, that it just covers that area to make sure that you can't shoot anything as well. And in the end I decided...
I think Legionnaires.
Oh yeah, the Legionnaires, they just ran at this...
I think you got some charges in there, I think.
Oh, you are correct. I did get 3 charges now that I remember. So I was able to reach the bomber and 2 of the pigs, and then everyone else just runs to continue the buddy system and just make them as annoying to get rid of as possible.
Now to talk about how you move them up, you had them go or sort of going in a conga line in a straight line. Would you have done them in a tripod or in a buddy 2x2 to spread them out more in the future?
I think at this stage I was not too worried about maximizing how long their armor lasted. It was more of forcing you you have to use something good to at least take out one of them to change the armor swing by any amount. And I think that was more valuable, such as the bomber walking in and attacking, or do I get to... So I think I had 2 engaging the bomber at the end, so am I getting 2 free strikes at Power Plus Strength 12? Maybe? Or no, actually it would be 10, because Battle Driven would have already ran out. So there's... Oh, good, we're just checking to see about Veteran Leader, that is also on the Blighted Archon. It would affect the Legionnaires. So that's another thing that I really appreciate about the Blight Archon and what it provides outside of an armor buff, of just making the Legionnaires better. Because now we got faster Legionnaires. We have Legionnaires that can get Pathfinder. They can get higher strength and have high armor because of the Blight Archon. And then being Mat 7 as well because of it. Sure, that's a package.
Oh yeah, I know. You have everything.
For the low cost of 2 Forsaken. So let's see.
I think that was all the charge attacks.
I think so. Yeah, I think I just took out the 2 pigs that were there, and then I did something to the bomber. I'm not sure if I did any. I don't think I did.
A little bit.
Yeah, I just poked
it. A little bit. Poked it a bit.
Give it a hangnail. Just start poking at its toe.
Well, considering that my bushwhackers soaked about, I don't know, took about half of them off the board right now. I think I only have like 6 left. Including the UN attachment in the back, I think there's only like 6 of them left now.
Yeah, I think by the bomber there's 2 right there, 2 in the zone, and then 2 just behind near the thumper. Yeah.
To think about it, like if I had that put in the middle more to find more targets for them to shoot at, if you had an 80 line, I think it would have mattered. But still, like if I think me going first would be probably better off applying those guys. But they did their best. They end up becoming just charge lane blockers and just getting in the way after the first turn.
It's actually interesting you brought that up because you were actually one that I realized. I remember now. You won the roll, but you chose to go second and take that side.
Yeah. Immediately, I think I immediately regretted that middle of the game because I'm like, man, I didn't really use any of my first turn shooting or any of these pig bushwhackers at least. But I think it was a risky plan. I was on the verge of feeding on first turn, I'd be like, well, really, it would only benefit the pushbackers, and I would not get anything later on. So going second, that's basically what I gave up.
Yeah.
That first turn round of shooting, where basically I could have free range on the board, but
yeah, I think
I settled into my old melee troll troll scheme, where go second, better position, and then wait for third turn to start smashing.
Yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic with the change to a predominantly gun line. As you say, for melee being able to just instead of pick your matchups with what you want, so you have the right thing going into the right thing is good. But with the reach of how far guns can go now, especially with Grim2's feat of just baseline giving snipe, it's going first. I would definitely agree is the better play. Just getting that table space initially, and you have to tell me where I should be going, because you're gonna be able to reach me first no matter what.
Exactly.
And
I think that was Chris just moving up, getting the flag position.
Yeah, it was the debate I was running into at the time was, how do I get to the flag? I just wanted to be able to just get her on the flag. She's in concealment, so she's a 16-16 right now against guns. And so I just ended up using one of her change spells to energize her just to get that last little bit of movement, and just moved up there, dumped down my fury to what I needed to do. And after that, the Succubus actually ran up and decided to partially park on top of the token, the Pyg Burrower token. I'm just using it as here's something that's just in the way. It's going to be making it harder for you to pop the pigs out, because I know they're going to be coming out. I wasn't even going to argue this.
Okay, so we're now bottom turn 2. I think this is the scoring turn, and right now we're in a position to score 2. Your flag and your circle zone on the bottom.
Yeah.
So I think this is where I start doing the deploying the unburrowing my burrowers, and it was tricky because I was trying to stay away from melee range from 2 inches from Kryssa, 2 inches away from the Blightbringer, 2 inches also away from the champion. So it didn't leave me a lot of space to drop in, but I think we still managed. Like it took a while. Like you could see a lot of like proxying and a lot of 2-inch widgets going down, because we wanted to be really sure I could deploy properly here and stay out of melee range, and sort of gut butting ends so that I don't engage the Succubus, so I'd still be able to pop their pop guns.
Yeah, it definitely highlights if you're given a really strange position, just how much time can be sucked up on a clock when trying to deploy this unit to get the ideal setup.
Yeah,
because this took a substantial amount of time to get all 10 of the.
It took a lot of time, but I think we both agreed at the end that it was like, I managed as much as I could in there, but I still managed to get all 10 of them in there and stay still within completely 4 inches of the token. So,
yep,
it was accomplished.
Yeah.
It was a pain, but it was accomplished.
Yeah, because in the end,
I think,
even if my goal is just make you have to think and spend as much time on the clock doing this here, I think I accomplished that. Because it was just
you did.
Three things definitely. With 2-inch melee, the Succubus in there just sucking up a landing spot, and if you're within a half an inch of them, of her it will be a pain. Yeah,
and then now the rest of the pigs who are coming in next to the Succubus, which does not have a melee range, which is luckily for me. All I needed to do was just to make sure I was my back arc was towards the Succubus. At least they weren't engaging her. Yeah, forgot the term.
Whichever one. You don't want to be engaging me. That's the big part.
Engaging the Succubus, and then the rest of them just look forward, and I think I managed to get all 10 of them in there, which is quite the feat. Like, took me 10 minutes. It probably took me about 10 minutes to deploy these guys, which in the game really sucked. Would really kill my clock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the last guy. And there goes the Burrow token. And then this is the starting of my control. Leeching back all the fury, taking off the trap. I think the first thing I was gonna do, and I noted it, that this is probably gonna be my feat turn. This is me trying to figure out what goes first, what goes next, because everything needs to go in concert in terms of getting the maximum amount of shots out. I also noticed that two of my my pig bushwhackers were in the way where I needed stuff to do, so I had to figure it out later. I'm doing my Mirage move, my Mirage placements, which is really good, getting Grim up the board safely on my terms, and really get him to apply that feat, to apply his feat, and because Trolls doesn't have any arc nodes, for me to utilize his mortality, he really needs to get up there and dangerous.
Yeah, and this entire time I was playing off the mortality's 8 inches, it's fine. And then I found out no, it's not. Like, oh, geez, darn.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with a combination of Mirage, which is 2 inches, and then with Ledfoot being right there next to him, that's another like 2-inch place. That's a 4-inch extended threat from his mortality at 10. That's already 14, and if he moves up 6, that's a 20-inch threat from mortality anywhere, right?
Yep.
Or actually, no, 19. Did I do my math wrong? Speed 6 plus mortality is a 10-inch range, and then with a 2 and a 2, yeah, the 20-inch, 20-inch mortality. Yeah. So that's at least I know where the flagpole is, right? So.
Yep.
But I think the Blightbringer was well within 20. I think at this point, I think that's probably like.
Oh yeah,
14, 16 inches.
When you look at the line, they're pretty close to the back of both of the circular zones. So and the Blightbringer is within 12, probably that pretty easily. So you're able to scoot.
Yeah, that was my thinking right now. Like I need to be able to find a place to land Grim where I can get him to land mortality on the Blightbringer. However, there's a pig in the way and there's Legionnaires in the way for me to be able to do that safely.
And I think this nails on the other goal of had to spend a lot of time just getting the pig burrowers in, and the next thing is how are you going to dislodge your bomber without giving up too much.
I think I tried all I could, and in the end, the bomber would end up just swinging. I think again.
Yep. Yeah, you just came in and punched Legionnaire into the ground.
Yeah. So next one. Oh yeah, I ended up doing the slip away order from the bushwhackers, which allows them to move free of free strikes. That's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, and making sure that I have enough movement to go over, because with Brug there, he gives him tactician, so he basically jumps over his little buddy in front of the bomber and stays within melee of. No, it's not stays within melee, but stays within 6 inches of movement, just to get out of melee from the Legionnaires, so that we could shoot into them.
Pew pew.
And then the other guy, a lot more clearance for him to move around, and lands him further out, away from everything. So there, cleared out the bomber area, and then now they're gonna try to shoot into, I think, the Legionnaires. I also utilized the weapon attachment, the mortar shot, and I think I had three guys that chose not to move and aimed, just to give me that extra defense.
Yeah, so it's just
I think that was the mortar shot that I was trying to shoot. Yeah, this is a week ago. We're trying to remember what I did.
I barely remember yesterday now, for crying out loud.
It's been a week, exactly a week.
We would have been maybe considering starting our game right now at this time, local time. Yeah, it was, we started.
I think that was the first shot. I think that was probably another CRA, and did crap on the damage. And I think after that I was like, whatever. I'll just get everybody to just do a CRA into one guy. Yeah,
it's on top of being higher armor, and many of the ones that were closest to the water were actually within concealment range by the aura from the Blightbringer as well. So now even harder to hit at defense 14.
Exactly. And then now the mortar shot will take a shot at the knockdown Legionnaire, which hopefully can land me a good high power damage and high explosive blast damage, which I still think didn't take out much. I think it for sure takes out the middle guy.
These Legionnaires were pretty darn sticky for everything that you were throwing at them. They were hard to take out.
Exactly. Yeah, they were hard to take down. Yeah, there's the first guy explodes.
Yeah,
and then I think the blast is what we're trying to resolve. Nothing. No damage on the blasts. It's just the middle guy.
Yeah, when they're sitting at that's 15 and 17, 19, 21.
Yeah.
They get, oh no, sorry, 19 right now. Either way,
yeah.
they
So I think
9.
I needed like, yeah. It wasn't. It was a hard shot. But it was. They tried. It.
Yep.
So, I just realized if he had given target acquired POW 2 to weapons ranges, does that apply to blast?
It would be part of the range attack. Because then it would just be high explosive, and then following all the normal rules of multiply, divide, then add, subtract. So the +2 POW would be added to the end. So I would say POW 12. Yeah.
POW 12 blast.
Yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't apply.
Huh. Learn something new again.
Yeah, because how high explosive works, instead of going for the halve the base damage, is no, you are starting at 10 and then do all of your adjustments from there.
Exactly. What was that? Oh, I think that was a thumper shot.
Yeah, that thumper did work this game.
Yeah, this is where the thumper was going, like where it's shooting things all over the place.
Yeah. And I don't know if this was it, but I realized that I took off the wrong model and started this weird, like that Conga line of 3 dudes, or there was a giant pile of confusion. We eventually sorted it out, but that's now twice this game already.
By just taking them off the board eventually.
Yeah, it was going to happen.
I know. It took a while. It took a lot of resources to take them out, but I think that was a thumper shot. And I think next one up, I think we're starting with Grim. I think they were trying to decide if I was gonna pop Grim's feet already or later on in the turn. Oh, and I think this is where I remember that I was being a bad troll player, and I didn't activate Mr. Runebearer first, and I started doing other stuff rather than making him go first.
Yeah, that's kind of always been my train of thought. Do all your bookkeeping and stuff first. That has no overall bearing to the plan, so you just don't forget later by accident.
Yeah. I think this is where that's a proxy for Ledfoot. He was trying to take off more Legionnaires.
Yep.
And sort of see if I could use him to dislodge more things, just so that I could have a landing spot for Grim to put his mortality on.
That also probably
dislodging.
Yeah, so
he moved. Yeah, so Ledfoot moved up there to that proxy. Ledfoot's now sitting on a house because just to make sure there's no confusion. And then he right along the Grim forward another 2 inches. Again, getting that threat extension is really good for us, for a lot of troll spell singers, where a lot of our ranges are so short. So it gives us an ability to extend our threat.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is where I'm going to go in for the I think it's the melee attack first. I think that didn't do anything. I think that missed.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
It did do damage. Because I know I screwed up hard, and then I'm like, oh well. No, I took one out. I wasn't sure if that was a stub gun or it was a thing, but I know I didn't. One of them still stayed because I was hoping for him to take out both.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them obviously failed, or probably didn't break armor. Because you were only death 12, so it should have worked.
Yeah, I think the Tredz did hit. So I think your Tredz are not that high pow.
Yeah. And then here's Tredz just doing his Repo 3 around the Legionnaire, just to open up a spot for landing later. I think next one now, I think we're deciding. I was trying to still decide because I'm like, there's still Legionnaires in front of me. And I'm like trying to clear up as much real estate in front. before I could land, because like if I had left any of those guys alive in front of Grim, he would have been, you would have done damage to him, and he would have been dead.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, there's that looked like a measurement of our mortality range there.
I did. Yeah, I was measuring it, so I'm like, okay, all I've got now is basically a straight shot to him, and I need to figure out where I need to land to get 10. And I think this is where we're trying to see if I have eyes from Boomhowler to see if it can start shooting at things. And I forgot to take the proxy off.
Yeah, we both thought it was still an actual valid model there. And then it was like, oh, let's remove this because that's not supposed to be there. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think also, again, I miserably failed all of his shots because he only had a POW 10 gun against all your high armor. Like, it was hard to pling any through any of your high armor legionnaires at this point.
Yeah, this is the one I remember now because it was boxcars, because that means I had 3 of my 4 potential armor buffs. So I did have the battle driven, I did have the Dragon's Blood on, and it was still base to base. So it was really hard to try to do anything with them.
It's very painful. It's very painful to shoot these guys. And I think we ended up just going straight on, and the bomber just ended up cleaning house because it just everything I threw at it failed.
Mm-hmm. Come on, bomber! You know you want to eat one of them.
Yeah, I think this is where I attempted to throw boxcars at you using Boomhowler. I'm like, yes, and I celebrated because I'm like, I finally get 3 shots or 4 shots or something. And I still didn't do anything with those 4 shots. Yeah, this is where you tell me, like, hey, you need boxcars. I'm like, great. Okay, I guess I'm going to try to roll for boxcars.
Yeah. No, definitely... Sorry, you continue your thought.
Yeah, this is me just trying to, like, I committed. Might as well do it, even though it's going to be, like, failed. But you never know. I could have rolled 4 boxcars in a row.
Yeah, the odds exist. They're not good, but they exist.
It's not good. It's there.
It's a non-zero value.
Yeah, and then this is where Boomhowler sort of gets out of the way because he gave himself the special orders to repo, and then the stone moves up to get in position. And I think this is where I sort of messed up because yes, you always want to activate the stone first before waking it. At least then you could, if you're at the cap, you can always cap up to the top for your stone limit. And then again, combat warding's up because that's going to be permanent for this game.
Mm-hmm. It is the MVP.
Yeah, it is. And then you still 5 Legionnaires. Still 5.
No, I think that honestly this game has really sold me on the changes that they made to the Legionnaires as a common unit that's going to be seen going forward. Yeah, because they're 13 points.
I think the bomber is about to do something now. I think he's going to start punching out Legionnaires. I think. Yeah. That proxy there is just the bomber. I just didn't want to move him out of the way. First one goes on finally. Yep. That's 2. One more. I think I was boosting. Oh yeah. There you go. And then I think I was boosting just to like break armor, just to be sure.
Yeah. Because they're what, POW 15s on their claws base?
Yeah, he punches less than his barrels do by 1. I think his barrels was 16, and then his punches are only 15.
Gotcha.
And then there you go. He moves up forward to get into position, and there's still 2 Legionnaires up, but I think I try to mop them up later. Yeah. Brug is now going to move forward, and he's going to give. And then this is me getting caught off guard again with the target acquired, because with these burrowers popping up, they must forfeit a combat or normal movement, and I can't aim if I have to already forfeit that one already. So it was like, again, like he should have been safer in the back. If anything, he should have been gave target acquired to some other guy to shot, or maybe probably Boomhowler, and at least give him a couple more pows up on his chain gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Brug actually shot this time. He was gonna try to take out a Legionnaire, but I think that failed.
Yeah.
I know. And then afterwards I realized I thought his other one, because I thought everybody has a melee and a gun, but actually Brug has two guns.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I was only using the grenade, and I'm like, wait a minute. He's got his other weapon's a heavy pistol, and he's a gunfighter. He just has guns.
Excuse me while
So I should have shot a second time. I know. I saw that when I was like, after the game, I was cleaning up my cards, and I'm like, wait a minute. He's got two guns.
Don't mind me as I just go to... That's solo, right?
Yeah, and then this is now Grim's unit activating. So Grim moves up. Krump, or whichever guy has the trapper, I think it's Krump. Yeah, Krump is gonna move over to the left side there. I think I was aiming for him to drop his trapper again. And I think at this point I think declare that Grim feeded already, which is pretty big. He's got almost like a 14-inch control, which a lot of these guys I don't think I measured it because it was pretty obvious that I have everybody in my control range for the feet. And so while they're in their feet, everybody gets sniped, and then also they also provide marked target to all models. So easier to hit and longer range.
Trap down there. The next MVP is that trap. That trap did things I was very happy about. But
okay. And then now we are at a point now, I think, where I landed mortality, or no, I was rolling first. I had to roll first. There you go. Just to be sure, I boosted it.
Yep.
Because you never know. I needed it to be clutch, and if it needed to happen, might as well boost it, pay for it rather than wasting to pay for it rather than just boost it.
Yeah. You know, you only needed a 3 to hit me.
Yeah, I know. And I think, he
took the shot and took out the second last Legionnaire there. So there's one little person just chilling by the lake.
I think that was that might have been the guy with the blunderbuss. No, not blunderbuss, not the snare gun. I think that was Grim that took that shot because there's still one more there. And then repo back. Everybody stay safe. I got the mortality on the Blightbringer, and then now between the Pig Burrowers, which I initially thought I was gonna try to shoot Kryssa, then I'm like, well, might as well take out something heavier because I don't think I could take her out at defense. Where were we at this point?
I'll be at 16.
Yeah, defense 16. Like defense 16. Technically, rat 7. I needed to roll 9s, right?
Yeah, not the best odds versus something that the Blightbringer's only defense 9. It's an easy target to shoot at.
Yeah,
your guns are no joke. You'll be dice off 3 because of the mortality. So I agree that was the best play to just see if you can gun down the Blightbringer and take out my only beast on Kryssa, but it's also a very big infantry support for this list.
Exactly. And it was a big piece off the table to take out. With me sacrificing my Pig Burrowers, which I think was a pretty good point swing.
Yeah, the 32-point model being chipped down by those guys. How much is it for a full unit?
11.
11, yeah, okay. Very point efficient. But this is where we found out that you decided to roll incredibly below average.
Yes.
Sorry?
Out of like 10 guys, I think we got down to like 22 damage, or was it the other way around? I ended up having to pull more resources to finish it off, I think.
Yeah, there was 22 hit points after all 10 of them had shot. And so that is 54 boxes, I believe it has total. So just a little bit over half for what occurred. Yeah, 54 total.
And I think this is me trying to move the bomber, see if there's enough space there, so I won't trigger my own trap on my own bomber.
Yeah, because that would have been, if that was about to happen and you just happened to roll that damage roll and knock it down, that would have been the saddest of times.
Yeah, I guess. And so we check it that it's there. The bomber has enough movement to get around that little bit there and around the chef. Which honestly, I probably should have just walked that chef out of the way because I'm like, he hasn't activated yet. Why am I walking around him? He does nothing. And then so the bomber's gonna try to shoot the Blightbringer some more time, some more. I think this is just me because I'm like I'm gonna go hot regardless.
Yeah.
So I went full in, and I was boosting the damage, reloading and boosting damage. So that would at least get me three Fury, I think is what I ended up leaving on him. And with 4 already on the upper bomber, I think I was ready at 7 Fury. So I was gonna go on hot 1 Fury and I had to do a Fury check.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the math I was doing in my head. And then I think that was both shots. He did a decent amount. I think how much was left? There was only like a little bit more left, right? That's why I was like contemplating, okay, who's gonna end up doing the last damage?
Yeah,
because I still need to get my. I guess that's why I ended up using, because I was hoping to use the tanks to clear off the side there and start putting on some pressure on your left side, but I ended up having to pull another tank just to finish off the Blightbringer because it would be no bueno if I leave that guy alive.
Yeah, and this is where that trap came into play because it actually did do damage. It actually did have the amount of damage to that tank going in.
It did at least like 3 or 4, I think. It hit damage. It did a nice roll on it, but because he's steady, he doesn't get knocked out. So it sort of it's a safe spot. He wasn't gonna roll enough to die to kill, but it still hit me back. There you go.
Yeah, after
that removes the Blightbringer.
Yeah, the bomber knocked it down to 5 hit points, and then that tank did the deed and put it away.
There you go. And then I think that was pretty much going to the end of my turn here. I think I only had the blue tank left, and then at that point I just thought like, well, here's a juicy piece of model for you to get in the way of and deal with, rather than like the rest of my army. And I think I was trying to see. Oh yeah, I was trying to see if I could do a charge, and I'm like, no, this is that house and how I position it, clipped it too much that there's no legal charge lanes for me to get into that I would have range to. So he ends up just running.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to the close of my end, and we are now at. What's I trying to? Oh, he just walked up and shot.
Yeah, I just took the shot because you found out at that point, like, oh, what's your defense? 18. Uh-oh.
Never mind.
Yeah. Well, we'll take the shot anyways and see what happens.
Yeah, and then the chef moves up, and I think that was your turn. I think you scored the circle zone, and then everything else was contested, I think.
Right? Yeah, so I got the circle zone there. And then this was now the deciding, if I did everything right, could I win? But that would not be the case. I would be 1 point shy of being able to win. The most I can get is going up to 4 by scoring both zones and my flag. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it's just figuring out what's going on. Now it's just a whole lot of bookkeeping.
So you vengeance move, but you didn't attack? Or there was nothing for you to attack?
No, I did. I walked up and I swung at one of the pigs.
Okay.
That was there. So I already knew what the plan was for that Legionnaire, was to go run to the other side of the zone and just be there and get out of the way for Zuriel to hopefully go that way. That was at least the initial plan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what my... Yeah, this is just, again, just trying to figure out what and where can I do to try to do everything. And the part that was really annoying me was trying to deal with all the pig borrowers that were right in my face right now and how to deal with it. And at the end of after the game, it kind of was like, wait, if I did this, that would have made a lot more sense with what I was trying to do, but I did too many other things in the middle of it that wouldn't allow that to work, to try to use the Impending Doom spell that is on the Blight Archon just to draw them all together and then start, since it has Assault, it can spray and just do all sorts of bad things.
Yeah. Well, to your benefit, like it's the first time you're using that model. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of new moving parts in your list. Yeah,
it was actually funny. You actually asked me, like, wait, which stuff is actually not in the CID? Is like, okay, it was, like, in the end, 3 things were not in the CID. Everything else was in the CID and changed in some way, even if it's just a point reduction.
Yeah, was it like the Succubus?
Succubus, the Spell Martyr, and the Blightbringer.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah. So there was a lot of new models on your side of the board. So
yeah, Okay, if I were to do this, how would this work with all this fury I was sitting on? So I knew I was never going to be able to fill back up again, so I had to make every fury point I had count from this point forward, because I was only going to get back one per turn. The big problem was trying to figure out how to get rid of... Because since... just trying to get rid of all these pig borers, and I know I wanted to use the Virtue Champion that's right by the middle of the table to start taking out a few of them, if possible. I have access to a few sprays. I have Kryssa there as well to be able to use. But it just... I would think I was really banking on my Blightbringer living to hope to just drop the one bomb there and just clear it all out in one go, and then everything just kind of spreads out from there. But that ended up not really being an option anymore.
Hey, you presented it, and I'm like, I gotta take it, because then these perk borers are gonna be useless.
I lost 32 points, you lost 50 minutes of clock. I'll take it, or something like that.
Yeah, between me trying to land them properly, yes. I think that was time well invested.
I remember we were talking about something, but I can't remember what it was that we're trying to look up.
What was it? Remember we also had that cover issue as well. I don't think this was the cover one.
No, or maybe it was. No, because it would have been on your turn.
No, that would have been on my turn, I think. This was something else. Something to do with the beast? No.
There was one question that came up about the putting tactical supremacy onto a Gargantuan or Colossal, and the fact that you can't do that or replace it or anything like that. Only the Archangel and the Storm Raptor have rules that state they are allowed to do something like that, and only their rule allow them to do that.
Yeah, they can only advance on their movement. I think that was the wording. So you can't do like a repo. You can't do a repo on a. You can't do a repo or a sprint on a Gargantuan.
Yeah. So now the Swordsmen are finally able to start doing stuff. So they're just running around. I have them running around the trap to start engaging some of the back line there, and three of them charging the tank to hopefully take that out, and then all the rest will start. Since this charge only works on a charge, just get themselves out of the woods there and start making them. Since now I'm starting to tie up the line, they become the next wave that come in to start charging even deeper in each time. Yeah, so it's just a lot of finagling around, doing things. And this, to me, actually really highlights how I misused Annyssa in this list. I kept her way out to the flank when I didn't really need to. She could have been way more to the middle to be able to threat project into your army more, and also have the threat of her actual new charge now with her Mat 6 Power 10 Weapon Master attack.
I think it only took 2 swordsmen to take out that tank, though. 2 attacks, I think.
Yeah, it's Mat 7 and it's Power Play Strength 11, but still Weapon Masters, so they still do work whenever they can collide. Yeah, and I think we go on to the Blackfrost Shard, which I cleaned up their spell for stealth, and then I just immediately put it back on again. Because I didn't see them really doing much at all this game. I was just committing to they are going to be in this zone here, and they're just going to score me points until however this game ends.
No, they're so good, man. Like, I think you own that real estate the entire game, the entire side. I think I just gave up, and I think at that point it was like, you scored like 2 on this turn, I think, right? You still got your flag back. No, you got the zone, and I think you got another element afterwards. But yeah,
it would have been the flag.
You had a lot of scenario. You had a lot of scenario push pressure on me at this point.
Yeah, it's as far just from looking at it right now, the entire bottom half of the screen, it's mine. Like, I'm collapsing in, and I'm just going to be chasing into you now from this point forward.
And I think that's all that we pushed on the swordsman.
Nyssa is like, come on, I did all that work against that bomber the first time. Totally, I can repeat that again, right?
Yes.
No. No.
Is this one of your first misses?
I can't remember.
Let's see.
Drum roll.
Let's see what happens here. Nope, there you go.
Wow. And just shift a little bit. I'm actually safe in the forest. I can see out, and you're gonna have a hard time shooting me because I'm stealthy. This is when I actually understand my rules and using them correctly. Oh, Virtue is actually joining the fight now. And it takes a spit at the Runebearer, actually. So remember to put down my ring, because I can do that at any point. Take the shot, and I think this one misses? Oh, no, this was because I swore up and down that these things had Isle of Sight, and they didn't.
Oh, no, they didn't, no.
So, unfortunately, I have to actually shoot against a non-defense 12 troll. I'm pretty sure I just whiffed the shot, and it just drifts and does nothing. And I don't corrode anything because you still have combat warding up. Actually, this is one item I forgot as well. The shot actually leads to Scather, and I never put that Scather down.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I gotta keep in mind.
Wasn't it like a rough terrain, right? Or is that the one that gives?
It does 1 point of corrosion damage type if you enter or end.
Okay.
I don't think it would have mattered at all for this game, but it's just something that I forgot about, that I could be using these champions more for, okay, I can't charge anything, so I might as well lob a shot out there. Hopefully the Scather gets in the way, and just it puts more of the thinking tax on you.
Exactly. It prevents you from getting a lot of the it controls where you want me to go on the board.
Oh, here's my first mistake now, but it's the first play of starting to clear out all these guys. So I'll just start engaging everything, started to just bop them with its range 2, POW 14 swords. For models that you can take for free as requisition choices, these things can potentially do a lot of work.
They do. There you go. Start losing my Burwers, which at this point I'd be like, they did the job.
Yeah. Yeah, the goal I wanted to keep the two of them together so they can go chase after a bomber and hopefully just charge it and just make it so the bomber has a really rough time doing anything. Especially because if you ever want to walk away from a Virtue champion, you end up taking a 46 POW 14. Since the free strike's an additional die and then you're corroded. If the corrosion doesn't go out, then it's boosted as well on top of that.
Wow.
So it's nothing to sneeze at what they can do. I really foresee champions being used significantly in the future for a lot of Legion players once the...
So you think you're going to still roll with 2, though?
I think them as a pair is really strong. The only time I think that I would maybe take them in singles would be actually with Bethane 2. Because she is a Virtue, so that means she can spit out her own cloud on top of her, so she's actually a 16-17 against Gun's baseline.
Yeah, I think this is I think your Archon now is trying to figure out a good angle for your spray, I think.
Yeah, I think this is where I'm lamenting my choices of how I'm going to tackle this, and I was not happy with any of them at all. If my body language is indicative of anything. So I think due to me wearing a mask this entire time, I found that I was waving my hands a lot more to be more expressive. I was noticing that earlier in the video.
Yeah, I think this is where you go into tank because you're like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna score there. You got Nyssa there. I think this is where you were trying to see like you probably needed a little bit more help on that side.
Yeah.
And you're thinking that you probably should have brought her maybe closer to center, not off tuck to the side.
Yeah, not even that, but even if I just used her to the two dudes that the Virtue champion took out, that was just to the bottom or down of it based off the screen here. Nyssa just walked through the trees and shot at them instead. Then maybe be able to take the Virtue champion and go deeper on the big group of them there. And there's talk about assault, but that means I would have been facing a different direction after the assault. So it was just getting all sorts of weird, and I wasn't happy. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised a lot of this was just me kind of talking and trying to rationalize myself of how could I have done this better. Which I think this is the kind of game I really need to get back into since it's been months since I've actually played or thought about this game fairly heavily. So just being able to bounce things off another player and just kind of go through the motions again was very helpful again. And if I were to play this game again, I think it would be a lot more snappier and things would look a bit cleaner. And I think I would be happier with how it plays. I imagine you as well with a lot of things that you learned in this game.
Especially how to apply Brug's battle plan, I think, is where I made two critical errors. Where I'm like, wait a minute, forgot about that again. Oh, forgot about that again. And I think if I just work on my Boomhowler 2 and Brug, I think that's where my main pitfalls were in this game. Is I didn't utilize them as best as I could, applying the support at least.
Yeah, you had a nice selection of support as well that can apply to a lot of things. So I think Kryssa actually moved up and is starting the great poking spree on whatever was in range of her near the flag.
Yeah, I think this is the part where you were deciding if you're going to do Archon first or Kryssa first, right? Or
something like that.
Yeah, I ended up deciding going with Kryssa first, I guess.
Yeah, I think in the end, instead of committing the Archon closer, I decided I wanted to stay in the cover, so I could only spray certain things. But then that meant my control range wasn't going far enough for Zero to clear out the last of the pigs that are at the back of that top zone. So my single lone Legionnaire could score that one. So there was a lot of shooting myself in the foot on this one for how to tackle it, and I think I played overly conservative with some of my models. I could have done things a little bit more aggressive to try to force some issues.
Yeah,
a bit more, because in the end, there's nothing that was going to charge me that was necessarily like the very heavy hitting and accurate melee model, because there wasn't one on your side.
I didn't have a melee. I think my closest melee model that would do any damage is probably the bomber.
But it's better at throwing the bombs though.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think it was just I went overtly all into guns in this game just to see how much I could push it.
Yeah.
And so what was your thing of thought keeping the Blight Archon in the cover? You just didn't want to get it shot at?
Yeah, I guess my thing is, why commit something into... Again, this is maybe things that you were learning in this game or things that I've already dealt with in the past of why commit something closer than I have to.
Yeah.
But I was not thinking... And also, since this is Legion's first actual Lesser Warlock, I actually didn't think about my control range for this. I'm used to just having one control range and that's it. Yeah. I didn't have to think about a second one at any point in time.
I think that was the Archon's done.
Yep, that was its spray there, and then Zuriel should be coming up to clean house on the rest of the Brewers now to prevent or to get rid of the contesting models around that flag, so I can score an additional point at the end of my turn.
Yeah, but then Kryssa has no. At this point, Kryssa was still packing Fury, but it really meant nothing because there's no transfer. Exactly. But she was still at high. High defense at this point. That
was another thing that occurred as well. I actually moved Dragon's Blood off the single Legionnaire since I knew it was going to die at some point. And it's just there to score points. I moved it actually onto Kryssa to make her a 14-18 right now.
Yeah, there's higher armor.
It's gotta make it as unappealing of a target as I can, as best as I can.
Yeah, but I think at this point you were already scoring so much because as soon as you get rid of that model, this is where that flag is now yours. You'll be scoring 2. I think go up to 3. I think.
Yeah, I go up to 3 at the end of this one. And you're asking whether Zuriel was in the zone. I wasn't.
Exactly. But you still had everything sort of contested. Everything was still there. You were at 3. I was at 0. Like, if I didn't go... Like, you had scenario in the bag. And so, I think... Yeah, so Trollblood turn. I think this is where I was thinking, like, okay, well, the only way I get to do this is to go after Kryssa. Because scenario is gone. I'm losing the rest of the table on the left side. And I think this is where we were discussing my Thumper Bowling theory, or my scheme. And because you were in, conveniently small base models, I think I was asking you, like, can I use my own guys? And can I shoot them at you? And then because damage is dealt after the slam, you can go forward and hit things, right?
Yeah, we're talking about things because the even though a lot of that seems to be fairly elementary rules about slams and the collateral and how it all works, unfortunately the flag is there, and that turns into the rules of least displacement and when things trigger. And we weren't too sure at that stage, and I think this was already 1 a.m. for us or something like that already, so we were pretty tired. I took a picture of it, and I was going to show it to somebody else to get what their thoughts were. I had my idea of how it would play out. I was curious if it would match up, but I was just talking to that person not too long ago, and I neglected to bring that up, so that'll have to come up another time.
That's all right. But I think that was a big time suck on my beginning of my turn was trying to do that, and then I think I gave up on that plan because it was just too much of a pain. it was too much of a pain to just move it around, and I think it would have moved Kryssa further away from me than I would have wanted her to do, and so. But it's still a good discussion trying to figure out hypothetical scenarios where, if I did this, will it do this, and then if that's really outcome, and we discuss it on both sides of the board to see if that was viable, given the fact that if the flag wasn't there, yes, but if the flag was there, I'd be like, yeah, this is just too much mess.
Yeah, it was getting weird, and you were able to make it work in the end. But this is also the turn that you found out that you cannot CRA into combat.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, well then.
Yeah, I can't remember what point in the turn it came out, but you still had the pigs there that could CRA, and you're hoping, okay, I'll just take the shot on the Kryssa, like, because of how things go out. Kryssa's like, nope, my stick is engaging that thing over there. I'm okay.
And I think I did another critical error here later on too, but because there's so many moving parts that like I said, I'm not so used to in a gun line. It's going to require a lot of going back into the drawing board and figuring out my order operations, because there's a lot more steps.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, especially in Trolls, since there's just so many potential support models that you want to be like, hey, who needs this versus who's going to get it? Like, where's the most advantageous usage? Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of support models now, like I'm also so used to just bringing the Fell Call in every single list because he was the main support model. But now I've got options now, and they've almost turned into a sort of more offensive side support, especially Boomhowler as offensive side support, mm-hmm. And even with Brug, they're basically more like mid-range to late game flag holders or like support pieces that could get around the table, as opposed to before my Fell Call would just be sitting back and be like, here, you get Pathfinder. You get a map boost. You get
Yeah, I actually like that. Just thinking about Boomhowler. Like, yeah, if you're shooting against anything else, like actually, your POW 10s would actually threaten on a regular basis. Then yeah, mm-hmm. Like him is like, you guys do this, and I'm gonna shoot these three guys and take them out. Like, no, that's he pays for himself very quickly. But
yeah, it does.
Unfortunately, this one the Legionnaires said no, don't want it.
No, they didn't want it, and. I think this is where I'm starting to activate. Oh yeah, this is where the chef cooks up mugs.
Yeah, one of your friends there is like, no, go get fed to the bomber.
Yeah, I fed Krump to the bomber so the bomber wouldn't go mad. Which is a big waste, but he was the only model close enough that I could apply it to. It would have been the Runebearer if the Runebearer was there. Yeah, I think
just trying to figure out where's what going and where.
Yeah, I think the first guy who's gonna activate here is I think I did all my stuff, my maintenance. I think I'm doing a shot. What did I roll for?
I don't even know anymore.
I don't know what I rolled. I don't even know what I rolled for.
This is the cover. This is the cover part we were talking about earlier.
Oh, right. If he had cover or not, yeah. And then that was the Mirage move. And then me being a good troll player moves up. The first activation is always the Runebearer, giving Harmonious to Grim. And I think this is where I first decide there's a lot of pieces going to move, and so I needed to see if I could get the bomber out of the way. I think it all failed in the end, but
yeah. Yeah, as I think it was, you're taking a shot at the champion, and it was just weird how it is. And I will agree. I think I got this rule wrong at the time. I thought I didn't get cover, but I should have believed you.
I thought it was. I'm pretty sure it was, but I think we just went with the dice roll just to get the game going. I think the next move that I'm doing here, I'm activating the red tank, and he's going to try to, he's got line of sight to the sword. That's not Legionnaire, Swordsman. Yeah. He's going to charge him from the back and try to dislodge my bomber so that he could go help out be not engaged. But apparently that doesn't work out for me.
Yeah, I believe this is one of the flubbed die rolls on your side this time. You just couldn't hit that swordsman, even from behind.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah, wow.
Snake eyes. And then I think I'm gonna try to shoot him again because I'm gonna use my stub gun as a melee, and then I still didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Not again.
Nope.
And I think I just repo backwards.
Yeah, it's like,
repo looking forward. Yeah, a lot of this is where part of the game in MBMeanMachine where people are worried about your time's running out at the end of the game, but really there's not really a lot of things to do later. It's just you just have to just get it right.
Yeah.
Less models. Yeah,
as you lose models, you can spend more time per model, or you just have less activations to do. But once you have a good understanding how your list wants to flow and how it handles certain situations, you should just be able to just rattle through them without too big of a deal. But it was definitely starting to get weird with where things were. Like those swordsmen were starting to get into your back there and engaging when you're wanting to engage the bomber. So I think I engaged the bomber and the chef, I think, still at that stage.
Yeah, bomber, the chef, and I think the Runebearer is there too. Nothing. I think he's just
Oh yeah, he's poking with his fork.
Yeah. I think I was Boomhowler poking you then, and then the chef tried to poke you too. Like they all tried to dislodge that one Legionnaire, and it was just not working out. Brug's move over to the side to give them the target acquired, and then I think this one realized, yeah, you can't really shoot him. I'm like, oh great, well I guess we'll just shoot somebody else. I think it's trying to shoot the Zuriel. I think Brug tried to shoot the Zuriel, and this is my one shot that I forgot that you have two shots. You're both at PAL 12s with decent guns.
Yeah, Zuriel will be it's a 13-17 right now, so as long as you hit, you have a good chance of putting some chip damage in.
Mm-hmm. And so now I think, where did we go? I think this might be. I think this is where my big oopsie moment where I try to be cute and charge in with Ledfoot just to get the knockdown.
Yep.
And then I move him out of the way, and then I forget that I'm now in melee with Kryssa, I think.
Yeah, it's a double whammy of he's still allowing Kryssa to engage a model, so I'm still getting the defense bonus for shot into combat. And also, you learned that I had set defense as well, so I was actually defense 16 against it.
Yeah. Oh, or did I charge the champion? Did I charge the champion? Let's see.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We were trying to decide who was it. Like I said, it's been a week ago, man. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh no! I think. Yeah, I must have failed hard because I remember I had to do some. I did do something else. Yeah, here you go. So Ledfoot Tredz activating. He's charging the champion. The champion, because the flag is in the way. And because Brug is near him and in command, Ledfoot is actually mat 7, not mat 6, because of leadership pick.
Yay, veteran leader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to keep in mind that that Ledfoot's veteran leader is only applied to Pyg Tanks.
Yeah, that's true.
This is veteran leader tank, but Brug is a veteran leader Pyg, so it applies to everybody.
I think that was the damage and knockdown.
Yeah. And then I think this is where I'm like, do I repo away? And I'm like, no, I'm just going to repo in.
Yep.
And I'm like,
make friends with Zuriel.
Make friends with Zuriel, and then I'm still in melee with her, and then I'm like, crap, I just moved in closer rather than moving away. And then now I can't shoot Kryssa. And that was the free strike from...
somebody. It had to have been the champion.
Probably the champion.
Yeah, at this stage, I bet you would have been happy. He's like, oh, please kill it.
No, it was a miss. It was a huge miss, right? Because if it was a hit, it would have been a knockdown, but that failed.
Well, I meant the free strike against the tank.
Yeah, his melee attack if it hits is a knockdown.
Yeah.
But that was my point. I was trying to knock him down so that I would have a target for my thumper to hit Kryssa. And so my next source of my knockdown was Mug and his snare gun.
Yeah. And
which at this point now will help me because the champion is actually not engaged. Ledfoot is providing mark target from behind. So I think that led to the knockdown. There's a knockdown token from Mugs. And I think Grim tries to shoot at... I was about to shoot him off. As soon as I knocked down, I'm like, wait, no, don't kill him. I need him alive. So I think I tried to shoot... I don't think I tried to shoot at the champion because I might have tried to shoot at the...
Yeah, not too many things over this. So you had to have shot at something.
Yeah, that should do something. I know I didn't shoot the champion. It might have been...
It looks like you're pointing at Zuriel there multiple times.
Zuriel?
Yeah, if I'm marking damage on there, it was Zuriel then.
But then he's engaged though with the tank.
Yeah, he is. But you went for it.
I went for it. Whatever. All right, sounds good. And then they repo back. Now it's open. Now I've got my model who's knocked down, and then this is me trying to charge to get my 14-inch range for my thumper guns, in which I think I was in range. All I had to do was scoot them forward, and then that was, I think, the last part of my activations was to figure out where to, which one to activate next, knock them down, and then where to lay damage into Kryssa afterwards.
Yeah, because you're also the one part that didn't come as well. You're actually able to land mortality onto Kryssa as well. So I'm actually down to a 14.
Yes. That was the roll. Sorry, I wasn't doing a shot. I was casting mortality on Kryssa.
Yep, and you managed to do it even while in combat. So that was actually really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the pain starts coming from downtown.
Mm-hmm. So the tank goes there.
I'm already doing my stretch of recognition. It's like, yep, this is where this ends. Because we were already looking at and saw that how the Thumper Can would shoot the Virtue Champion. It would clip Kryssa no matter what happens. So there's a little nudge and just move the knockdown token between the two of them. Takes out the champion. And oh wait, no. And then no, can't do that.
No, that was it because he didn't have a transfer target, so the collateral just finishes you up, I guess.
Yep, no, it did the deed.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good game. I think trying to remember what our end game discussion was basically a whole lot of like, wow, this is so different. And I think for me, the first thing was is that because of such a like almost half-year break from War Machine, it sort of almost got me a fresh start of running a gun line because I was so heavy into the melee gem, the troll, that I just didn't know how to shoot guns. So I think I had a good turnout or a good run through with troll guns this time around.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. And from my side of things, I was actually just really excited to play with all these different models again. They're just slightly different in their own little way, and just trying to let's just play with things, especially with the caster that I've never put on the table before, and to go from someone that's like, wow, I don't want to play as you, you're not interesting, you're not doing what I want you to do, to you are such a strong toolbox of spells to work with and abilities, and even just a natural threat on her own to go after something. I think she's going to be... I see myself playing her and also this list, if not slight variations of this list, more in the future.
Yeah, me too. Like, I'm for sure for the next couple games, wherever games I could get, I'm probably just going to keep on rolling with Grim2 until I sort of unlock them. Probably, further on the road, maybe slight tweaks to your list. What would you make different?
One that we did talk about was maybe, because I was messing up so much with Zuriel on the 10-inch control area, the Blight Archon, is actually maybe trading that out for 2 rakes instead. So I'd actually net gain 5 points back into my list to use. And also, again,
extended control.
Bingo. I'd be able to do that. And instead of looking at, okay, what can I go snipe in and kill? It's like, especially against a list like yours, like, no, I just got to move and jump behind you, and you have to deal with me now for a defense 15 with stealth model. two of them on top of that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, a lot of the rest I'm kind of okay with. I like the champion package. Anissa Ryvaal, I think if I use her better and keep her more central, use her stealth to protect her rather than staying around the edges, I think I would get a lot more work done with her. The
Yeah.
Blackfrost Shard, even though they didn't get to use their full kit, they did the one job they needed to do, and that was just score me points at the end of
Oh
the
yeah.
day there. There
Yeah, I
was.
think
Sorry.
that's a really good small min units are really good at scoring like far off zones where you don't have to commit so much and they could be autonomous on their own, which is what they're really good at.
Yeah, and I think that was actually a problem with Legion. It was if I wanted to do anything battle group centric, I was very confined on where I could be, so I couldn't spread out and take over lots of the board. But playing this list with all the tools to try to buff as many infantry options as I could, I could
Yeah.
spread out really wide and just force instead of me having the problem going trying to contest everything. It's preventing so much force and bodies out there that you have to deal with. One that's really hard to hurt and one that's really
Mhm.
hard to hit with your guns.
Yeah, yeah. You almost like corralled me to the middle, and I was very like almost bunched up in the middle. Whereas you had like almost like flanking to the left with your Zuriel and Blight Archon, and then you had your whole Swordsman and Anissa on the right side, just flanking totally on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you had the Legion and the Blightbringer in the middle, sort of like powering forward.
Indeed.
Yeah, yeah. I think from my list, I don't know. I don't know where to make changes yet, only because I think I need another run through with the list again. The sluggers, I'm not sure if I could bring them in, only because the fact that they're so immobile, so slow. I might just bring in something bigger. I'm thinking of toying around and bringing in a war wagon to like
Ooh.
synergize with the tank more, because if it's Quake Gun, then I could utilize the Pyg Tank's shots, which is the has trash in it, right? So shoot something down and the Pyg Tanks just go boom, boom, boom. I'll just be bringing in more high power guns, bigger pieces, but it might be a good change. But I have to figure out a way to fit in 17 points, because the min sluggers I only got was like six points, and I still need to figure out where I could pull another 11 points out from the list.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thought of taking the battle engine to be able to knock things down to use the trash, because then that kind of turns into a four model pod that can just say, "Yep, this is my side of the table. Can you deal
Yeah,
with it?"
because whole constructs on big armor on one side of the table, like that whole pod, like little meaty tanks, and then one big war wagon in the middle, which is something to think about in the future. But I think I'm gonna roll with this list one more time just to see how it feels out.
Yeah, I'll be very curious to see
Yeah,
how you find it later.
yeah, we'll see my next match, see where I can get time to do that. But thank you guys all for listening, and hopefully we'll be able to produce another video soon, and we'll play more games.
Yep, I agree. Right. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Okay, bye for now.